confidence in my lords, as they call them. My guest this morning is Barrister Kelechi Obonna. He's joining us in the conversation this morning. He's a legal practitioner, a public affairs commentator as well. Barrister Obonna, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, every wonderful, well-meaning and listening Nigerian, and good morning, Mr. Ihanacho.
I'm glad that you're here this morning. Let's start with the election matters. That has sparked up, a lot of controversy in the polity. A lot of people, speaking on their confidence or, the loss of confidence and their renewed confidence in the judiciary, depending on which side of the divide you stand. Some people think that the judiciary couldn't have done any better at this time. For some others, it is, oh no, the judiciary is jeopardizing our democracy and all of that. What are your thoughts on some of the judgments delivered? First, for instance, let's start with Plateau State, where the Plateau State governor has been sacked by the Court of Appeal, and they say the judgment that upheld his election wasn't properly done by the judges at the lower courts. Wasn't properly delivered, and as such, he should be sacked. Now the APC similar, is saying we had a similar situation in 2019 in Zamfara State. We were ripped of everything. The courts ripped us of all the offices and powers or the positions that we got, and nobody was crying foul. How come everyone is saying that the APC is doing judiciocracy now and all of those things and taking powers through the courts or through the back doors? What are your thoughts on that?
I would first of all smile on that new term. I've not heard about judiciocracy. I'm just hearing it for the first time.
Nigerian democracy has a lot of things. It has a lot of terms that come up every day.
You see, I have had the opportunity to discuss with friends outside the country, and when they say, look, what do you think is wrong with the legal system? What is wrong with the judicial system? And I asked them, have you heard that popular saying, he who pays the piper dictates the tune? So why does it look like if Mr. James owns a dog and feeds the dog every morning, and so you are surprised that the dog doesn't bite Mr. James? It shouldn't be a surprise, because are we really operating an independent judiciary? That is the root, because a lot of people come to analyze and tell you, when it goes in favor of this party, they will say, the judges decided properly. And when it goes in favor of the other party, you will hear some people clapping and applauding the judges. They've done wonderfully well. The judiciary is awake. But no, that is not what we should be looking at. What we should be looking at is the root cause. The judiciary is reflecting the challenges in the society. The judiciary, in its real sense, is not independent.
How do you say that the judiciary is not independent? Yes, we know that financial autonomy is something that we've been has been there, but then as an institution of government or as an arm of government on its own, over the years, before now, the judiciary had some level of respect, and it seems like that respect in the eyes and that sacredness in the eyes of the people is waning by the day. Are you worried as a minister in the Temple of Justice?
I am very worried. I'm very worried because you see, like I said earlier, technically speaking, the independence of the judiciary is not what it looks like. Because if you are saying I'm independent, it means if I'm independent of you as we speak, it means I could actually stand up from here and walk away. There will be no consequences. My salaries will still run, my pay will still run, my check I'll still collect. But here, if I stand up from here and walk away, there is going to be consequences. Okay, so strictly speaking, like I said, it's not possible for us to clearly say that the judiciary is independent, and that is the root cause of what we see. Because if I know you can do nothing to me, if I give a judgment against you, surely I'll go ahead to do what I'm meant to do. But when I'm scared, can I be considered for promotion? Can I be considered to become the next CJ of the state. So you see a lot of politicking filtering into the judiciary that is meant to be blind. Don't forget, the Lady Justicia is a blind image with the eyes tight. It doesn't recognize the politicking that we see playing out in the decisions and you know, in the judicial atmosphere in the country right now.
Let's look at some of the judgments. So, for instance, in Plateau State, where there seems to be, you know, protest, and some people happy, some other people protesting. The judgment was based on Section 177 of the Constitution and Section 134 of the Electoral Act, and they say, look, these matters can be a pre-election matter, and they can be adjudicated upon, you know, by the courts after the election. They say it can be a pre and a post-election matter. Recall that even at the Supreme Court at the presidential elections, issues of qualification were determined or decided as pre-election matters, and as such, they had no locus, or whatever you call it, at the courts after the election. But in this time, you know, other people are arguing that there was a court judgment, and if there was a court judgment that stopped the PDP from going further as a political party until they reconvened another Congress, that they should not have participated in the election. As such, there was no party that existed as the PDP in Plateau State at the time. How do you see that? You know, how do you see that reasoning or that logic?
Okay, so again, I smile because you see what happened in Plateau State, you see what's happening in Nasarawa State, and all of it. The truth be told, we have wonderful laws. We have wonderful laws in our system. If it were to be about the sections and the subsections and everything followed as it were, but you see, it is human beings. If you remember that popular saying, I think it was Jaru, he says, guns don't kill people. People kill people. You know, it's what it is. It is not the sections that is our problem. It is not the laws. It is the people who go on to look for one or two technicalities to switch on. Look for one or two decided cases. And you know the interesting thing, the moment the head is spoiled, the head of the fish, it is difficult for you to say the fish will not go bad. Because when it's spoiling, it starts from the head. So that is where somebody will now tell you, okay, the Supreme Court decided in 2021, in 2022, it becomes a very delicate issue. So it is not the sections that is our problem. It is the people who are giving meaning to it. And they are being controlled by the forces of politicking and all manner of shenanigans that play out. When it favors me, I say, oh, good, wonderful. When it doesn't, I instigate people. I tell people, please, can we go and show our displeasure in the public? And most times, those people too are people with interest. Certain persons who might have been